Honesty, passion, experience. It's Timberwolves Explosion, hosted on the Paladino Live Network. And now, your host, Paladino Joey. Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Timberwolves Explosion is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. And, it's on iTunes too, but it's on all of your favorite podcasting apps. I'm kind of going way back in the day there. But thank you so much for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board again with you once again today. My voice is a little on the weak side, not because of sickness, but more so, injury is a little bit. I'm a little banged up, kind of my chest, rib area and such, so not in my best conditions. I choose not to elaborate what happened. Some people know, some people don't, and we'll just leave it right where it is. I should be okay, though. But again, just explaining why I might sound a little bit on the weaker side on this show today. Timberwolves have been playing a bit weaker as well, unfortunately. The last episode, was it the 10th? Did I record on the 10th? Like a very odd Monday. Was I off that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was off that day. I worked outside, it was too cold out. And then the next day was the gorgeous Veterans Day Northern Lights display, which obviously in Australia, well, maybe you saw it over there in the Aurora Australis. The southern lights, so to speak. Maybe they got that far away from the poles. I'm not sure. But in terms of the Aurora Borealis, it was the most gorgeous display I have ever seen in my life. And it's like, I'd been working outside all day. It was pretty chilly on Veterans Day. That would be November 11th here in the United States, of course. It was a little on the chilly side. I'd been working hard outside the whole day. But it's like I can't go inside when I'm looking at this. I'm looking towards the southern sky, and you can see the green, and it's like, all right, yep, because I'd gotten the alert from the Aurora app, which I highly recommend. Aurora or Aurora Pro, which is like a small fee if you buy that one. I think it's just a couple bucks. Otherwise, the regular Aurora app, highly recommended if you're interested in northern or southern lights, depending on what part of the world you are. Highly recommended. It'll alert you when the KP meter is high. That's when you can see... that's where, obviously the higher the KP, the more likely that northern lights or southern lights are going to appear, or like solar lights, you can say. It was the most gorgeous display in the history of the world. We saw the green sky, but then I looked towards the northwest, and the sky was a hot pink, like a kind of a reddish pink, and it just blew my socks off, blew my balls off, whatever you might say. I've never seen anything like it, and I did not want to go inside anytime soon, and I didn't. Wow. So, sorry, it's just this is kind of a historic thing. I mean, that was a fun couple of little days there. That's why it kind of triggered a nice memory. I'd take that back right now if I could, compared to, I don't know. I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was nice. I hope all of you had a happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday. That's a tradition as we get back into Timberwolves Explosion on Fridays again during the regular season, because the cleanup season is over. And I got the lemon and the tomato juice right here. Plus, we're playing New Orleans, so that's lemon and tomato juice right there. Coming up. Hopefully the Wolves can get their heads out of somewhere, because they got a couple of tougher opponents coming up first. Despite lack of Jason Tatum on the Celtics, it's not going to be particularly easy still to beat them, because they've gotten a little tougher. Heck, they gave the Pistons their third loss of the year. So, yeah. Since then, though, yes, the Wolves did beat Utah the night that I was recording. They beat Sacramento 124-110. They beat Utah by only 7, kind of screwing around. Beat Sacramento 124-110, then got beat pretty good by Denver, and 123-112. That would be on the 15th. The Wolves crushed a Dallas team that's just kind of like falling apart. They fired the GM and all that. You probably heard that about 50 times already. 120-96. Then kind of played with their food a little bit and eventually beat the Washington Wizards 120-109. And then, since then, it was a 3-game losing streak, which had a lot of us screaming and yelling at their television sets. It was an ugly game anyway. The Wolves were down early for like a significant amount. Came roaring back, looked like the better team. Everything's going to be fine. What was it, like a minute left? Wolves led by 8. and they find a way to bleep this one up. Kind of shades of the Houston Rockets game that I talk about sometimes, going way, way back to my season ticket holding days. I think the Wolves had a 7-point lead with like 40 seconds left, and it was like up the court, turnover, score. Wolves lead by... They had a 7-point lead? Yeah, that's what it was. Wolves led by 7. It was a turnover and score. Okay, it's a 5-point game. Turnover and score. Now it's a 3-point game. What the bleep? Turnover and score. It's a 1-point game. Are you bleeping kidding me? Turnover and score, and that was it. The Wolves lost by 1. It was freaking horrible. Bobby Jackson was the point guard, and he was just an absolute mess as a point guard. He's supposed to be a shooting guard, more or less, who can play point or could play point on occasion. Past tense, of course. Wolves end up losing the game to Phoenix in pathetic fashion. A lot of us were screaming our heads off. Anthony Edwards missing a couple of free throws when the Wolves were up by 1. Of course, like the weakest defense ever down the stretch. A player that I think is not much really to get excited about was able to score against the Timberwolves. Made me sick. I was pissed beyond belief. God, I was mad. Just the way everything kind of fell apart down the stretch was too much for me to stand. Colin Gillespie, like, give me a break. Who the hell is he? You know what I mean? Yes, you've heard of him, but I mean, he's nothing. You know, he's weak. He's okay. He has his moments. He had a little floater because the Wolves couldn't play a little better defense. Couldn't pressure him a little better. He was able to get into the lane, kind of similar to Austin Reeves when the Wolves lost to the Lakers weeks ago. So that was extremely frustrating beyond belief. 10-foot floating jump shot in the lane. And, of course, the Wolves couldn't do anything special after that. Pathetic. Ugly basketball the last minute or so, and it set us all off into extreme frustrations. Gotta be bleeping kidding me. Wolves lose to the Phoenix Suns on Friday night last week. That would have been the 21st of November already, but God. The Wolves and Suns were tied. The Wolves and Suns were tied at... no, were we? I'm getting all mixed up, though. Yes, I do believe we did have the same record. Yes, the Timberwolves and the Suns had a 10-7 record at the time. I'm all confused. I guess 11-7 now. I'm so confused at what I'm looking at. I think the Wolves and the Suns were 10-7. Yes, and they found a way to blow it, and it just was disgusting. Sucks. I'm looking at this all wrong. I don't know, but whatever. The Wolves and the Suns had the same record at the time. Yeah, see, obviously they played different games. That's showing our current record of 10-8, which is so frustrating. Wolves and Suns would have been 10-5. I believe we both had the same record at the time. Everything just collapsed, and the Wolves were both, and the Suns were both 2-0 in the NBA Cup. Of course, we're not going to win the NBA Cup. What a huge surprise! Like whatever. Half the time, I don't even understand how it works. NBA Cup, like for the most part, I don't even know how they schedule this stuff. I mean, I'm confused by a lot of it. And at the end of the day, there's a fun side to it, but the other side, like the scheduling and stuff, I don't have enough interest in it really to give a damn, to say the least. So forgive me if that sounds really like sacrilegious doing a Timberwolves show and saying, but do I give a damn about the Wolves winning the NBA Cup? Yes. Why the Timberwolves and why the NBA are using a sponsor outside of the U.S. for it, I'm confused a little bit, but I guess that's just me. I don't know. But I guess that's the way the NBA thinks. I'm not sure I agree with it, but we'll leave that right where it is. I don't want to get banned again, right? Then the Wolves show up in kind of a semi-no-show against the Sacramento Kings, 117-112. I don't know what the bleep happened there either. We'll just keep going back and forth. But yes, the 1-point loss to the Suns. Disgusting, frustrating. Anthony Edwards had 41 points in the game, but again, when it mattered most, he choked. He missed his free throws. And of course, some stupid turnovers as well. He had 5 in the game. Having Anthony Edwards inbound didn't make any sense. Randall and Anthony Edwards combined for 10 turnovers apiece, 5 and 5. Awful. Rudy Gobert got into super foul trouble. So that didn't help either defensively. 5 fouls for him. Horrible. Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels each had 4. That didn't help either. It's just an ugly game. And Phoenix, I don't know, Phoenix beating the Wolves is frustrating, but I guess that's how that went. The Wolves then on Monday, the 24th already of November, unfortunately, at the nighttime, that's when the event took place where I hurt myself, we'll just say. Anthony Edwards with another 40-point game, 43 points in a losing effort to the Sacramento Kings. A losing effort to the Sacramento Kings. We lost to Glass Joe. Yep, missed free throws once again. But then again, it wasn't that bad. 19 of 22. I've seen worse at the free throw line. Phoenix game, where do you go with the free throws there? I don't know. It's just, I don't even want to think about these games. Like, everything's just falling apart so quickly. Yeah, the Wolves missed 10 free throws in the game, 69.7, 23 of 33 in the game. That didn't help at all. I just don't know what to think there. That's ugly, ugly, ugly. The Wolves easily win if they make half of those free throws. Well, not easily, but they win by 3 if they made half. They win by 4 if they made half of those free throws. It's bullshit. So, pardon my French. It was a really ugly, awful loss to Phoenix. Wolves only missed 3 free throws to Sacramento. Just generally speaking, though, the defensive presence just wasn't there when it needed to be. Poor general execution in this one. 40 of 97. I don't know why it's not showing a percentage. Oh, there it is, 41%. That's not going to get it done. That's just from the floor. 31% from three-point range. That's not going to get it done either. That's a lot of misses. And the Wolves just kind of, I don't know, they just sucked in the game, basically. Terrence Shannon Jr. barely got in this one, and he's been, again, a massive disappointment this year due to a lot of our chagrin. About 7.5 minutes and 1 missed shot, basically. Oh, and he did get a rebound, sorry. And was a -4, so yay. Jalen Clark has not been seeing the minutes all of a sudden, only about 6.5. And, he got 2 offensive rebounds somehow in just 6 minutes. 3 total rebounds, so more efficient than a Terrence Shannon Jr. I'd rather have Jalen Clark in there. Rob Dillingham, there's just no faith in him, though he did have 3 steals in the game and 3 assists. That's actually pretty good in about a 9-minute interval there. Naz Reid, 6 of 15. That's not going to get it done. I'm sorry. That's lousy. 15 points, but it took 15 shots to get there. That sucks. 1 of 6 from downtown. That sucks. Conley, 1 of 4 from the floor. He only shot 3s in the game and missed all of them. Oh, but he had 5 assists. Okay, fine. In 25 minutes as the backup point guard. Really, it's like, are the Wolves even playing point guard here, or is it just 2 shooting guards? I think it's 2 shooting guards, Anthony Edwards and Donte DiVincenzo. Because Julius Randle moves the ball around. Well, okay, sure. He had 5 turnovers and 5 assists. That's a great assist-to-turnover ratio. It's fantastic. At least with Conley, even though he's like 90 years old, 5 assists, 0 turnovers. At least you have a better natural point guard, not only moving the ball around, but protecting the ball, not getting turnovers. Simple stuff, right? 16 turnovers for the Wolves against the Sacramento Kings, and it was, awful. Jaden McDaniels only 6 points. Definitely one of his weaker games offensively during the course of this season. A crappy loss to the Sacramento Kings, whether it was in Sacramento, Target Center, or Switzerland. Losing to the Kings sucks, and I was dumb. Heading to OKC on Thanksgiving Eve. I'll stay away from the drinksgiving nonsense. That sounds dumb. Wednesday, November the 26th. Yeah, great. You drink. It's Monday, you drink. It's Tuesday, you drink. It's Wednesday. We get the point, okay? You drink, okay? Whatever. We're happy for you. I drink too, but I don't need to talk about it, and I don't drink heavily. That's the difference. I'm more moderate, but not that it makes me better necessarily, but I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to brag about it, because, I don't know, if you have to brag about something, it's probably not that cool. Anyhow, I'll get off of that. There goes 3 listeners. Sorry. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. 10 points for Julius Randle. It took 13 shots to get there. You know what I'm saying? 2 of 13 from the floor. Yeah. Anyhow, Anthony Edwards, decent, I guess. 9 of 19, 31 points. 8 of 12 free throws, though. Missing free throws like a freaking freight train in this one. In a game where the Wolves were actually in it most of the way. A 113-105 loss to the 18-1 hated Thunder. Because I don't like them either. I don't like the Thunder. I don't like the Warriors because they're cocky little obnoxious SOB Steph Curry. I can't stand him. And I don't like Steve Curry either. He's got the biggest mouth I've ever seen. The Thunder, it's a different kind of arrogance. I mean, the fan bases to me are almost all the same when it comes to the arrogance and taunting and stuff. Like they just gotta overreact to every little thing. Obvious call that should go our way. They're booing the refs. Like, shut up. It's childish. But I'll get off the fan base thing. I'm just gonna completely get off of that. I know they're fans. Yay. Okay. Good for them. Oklahoma City Thunder, 18-1 on the season. Obviously, at least, Shea respects us. He called us a good team. We had to really be on our toes and all that. I appreciate it. Thanks. That's good for you to say. I don't like the style of play, though. I mean, every time he goes up for a shot, it's like he's got to be on his back, and it's like, get the f out of here. 15 of 17 from the free throw line. That's all you need to know there when it comes to SGA. I mean, that's just kind of the story of the player. Love him, hate him. I'm not a fan of that kind of crap, but I guess if it leads to success, I guess so be it. The Wolves were in this one for a very long period of time, but then down the stretch, execution once again was the failure in this game. Like if I was doing the pass down, like at work, if I'm doing a pass down, like say you're showing like why we, okay, we made it, so you don't need to comment, like that's awesome, but why you failed, it would be, execution, downtime, machines are down or something, staffing, you don't have enough people, like why you missed the goal. And this one is just flat out execution. It's flat out execution. Like staffing would be like injuries if it was like a team. Okay, fine. We had like 2 major players out or something. Fine. We'll say staffing or injuries, But this is execution. Like the Wolves actually had a real chance to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in Oklahoma City on Wednesday, the 26th of November, 2025. Yeah, I had to give you the whole date, didn't I? I don't know. I just did. They had a legitimate shot at it. Chet Holmgren was a minus 16 in this game. 4 of 12 from the floor. But, of course, he made the important ones when it mattered, which was really annoying. He was stuck in the whole game. Then he hits a corner 3 at a clutch time when the Wolves were down by, like, 4 or something. And it's like, bleep it. There's the bleeping dagger. I hate it. So frustrating. It's like, damn it, go away. But that's kind of how it is. The stops magically don't happen when you want them most. And offensively, you're missing every freaking shot you had. Like open corner 3s and you're clanging them. And then they get, open enough corner 3 and of course it goes in. And that's kind of how things kind of change down the stretch. And why the Oklahoma City Thunder are 18-1 and why the Wolves are 10-8 and in the play-in. Right back where we started when we started making the postseason and got spanked by the Denver Nuggets. The Wolves definitely competed against the Memphis Grizzlies. But then the next year, the Wolves took a step back, were even worse, and got spanked by the Denver Nuggets in a gentleman's sweep. But, but we played them harder than everybody else. We were scared of the Wolves. Yeah, whatever. You beat us in 5 games. We appreciate the kind words, but you beat us in 5 games. Like it doesn't make me feel any better. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. It doesn't make me feel any better when you lose 4 games to 1 in a playoff series. And that's kind of what it looks like where the Wolves are headed. Like maybe a first-round series versus the Thunder instead of, last year, the Western Conference Finals, which was also a wonderful, so kind gentleman's sweep. You're too kind. Thank you. Thank you for the gentleman's sweep. I appreciate it. It's great. Anthony Edwards did make half of his threes. We appreciate it. His field goal percentage was much higher, generally speaking, 47.4. That's okay. That's good, but he missed 4 flipping free throws. What's going on here? Julius Randle, 4 of 7. Rudy Gobert, absolutely epic. 3 of 8 from the free throw line. That's 37%, man. Epic stuff. That's great. 3 of 8 from the free throw line. It's like, oh, cool. Hey, at least, they called a foul. Gobert's going to the line. Oh, he missed it. What a surprise. Oh, he missed the next one, too. Oh, that was really fruitful. Rebounded by Chet Holmgren. And here come the Oklahoma City Thunder. Moves the ball up. Here's Shea. He does a fake. He puts up a shot. He's on his back. A foul's called. And Shea's going to the line. I don't know. I don't know what's more annoying. Guys flopping on the ground and going to the free throw line every bleeping time down the floor. Or every time they go on the floor, they're moving the ball around, all excited, and they put up a 3-point shot. Oh, he missed it. Cool, but they got the rebound, and they're moving the ball all over the court. And then, oh, what a surprise, another 3-point attempt. It's like, what's more annoying? Shooting like 90, like shooting threes almost every time down the floor, or, flopping. I don't like either one. It's kind of like pick your poison. I don't want to hear any more about how the NBA was boring and crappy back in the 90s. If that's what you think, No comment. If that's what you think, no comment. Sorry. If you think just launching threes every time down the floor and or flopping and going to the free throw line is better, I just don't have much to say to you, I guess. But I don't know. I guess the Wolves lost the game, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Well, the series continues later. December the 19th is the next game in Target Center, Amazon. Okay. The Wolves will also be hosting the Thunder on the 29th of January, when the sunlight might start improving a little bit as we get well past New Year's and into almost the second month of the year. Amazon. Okay, so get your Amazon Prime, everybody. Free plug for them so you can watch the Wolves anyway, and other games, I suppose. ABC in Oklahoma City on March 15th, when the sunlight should definitely be growing quite a bit by then in this neck of the woods anyway. National broadcast, American Broadcasting Center, whatever the hell it's called, and to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder beat us again, basically. I know that sounds really negative and jerky, but yay, you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. Oh, Chet Holmgren, oh, Shea, the way he's so amazing. We know, okay? We get it, he's just amazing. Especially when he's at the free throw line like about half of the game. It's amazing stuff. It's amazing. I mean, wow, he's at the free throw line again. It's wonderful. It's absolutely great. But that's about probably what will happen in that one. And they'll win by 7, they'll win by 2, they'll win by 30. I don't know. But odds are they'll probably win that one too. Let's go. Sorry, I apologize for that. But it is frustrating. And Terrence Shannon Jr. finally got his head out of his ass, which actually helped quite a bit. Helped the Wolves be in this game. He made all 7 of his shots, generally speaking, and all 3 of the 3-point attempts he made. And he missed a free throw. What a dork. Come on, man. Make your free throws. He missed one of his 2 free throws. 18 points in 17 minutes. Terrence Shannon Jr. got his head out of his ass. Congratulations. And, he was the best player off the bench, and you could say he was the most efficient player on the floor, generally speaking. A lot of Wolves were minus. Like Conley was a minus 17. Whew, Naz Reid, minus 16. And DiVincenzo was a minus 6, or plus 6, excuse me. Even though he wasn't that good in the game. He's 4 of 9. It's okay with 11 points. Anthony Edwards, minus 8. Julius Randle, plus 2 somehow, despite the fact he shot 2 of 13. Could use a little help there, Julius, please. What the heck was that? That's all I got to say there. The Lone Wolf Award winner for this episode, I guess, is Anthony Edwards, because other players didn't play all that great either. The Johnny Flynn Memorial, yes, Jalen Clark was a minus 14. They only played him 7 minutes. It's like you didn't even give him a chance to work up a lather, for Pete's sake. Get Jalen Clark in the game. He needs to be in the rotation. You could definitely argue, despite the fact Rudy Gobert played like dog poop pretty much this whole 3-game stretch here that I'm going to basically judge these awards and demerits on. It should go to Chris Finch, I think. Just it wasn't good. And I am not a Finch hater. I'm not calling for Chris Finch's head. I like Chris Finch. But some of the coaching down the stretch, as the Phoenix Suns were, pulling away from the Timberwolves, the lack of like trying to calm things down, it just felt like, just keep playing. It didn't seem right. And the fact that Jalen Clark can't even get in the game hardly. Like he'll play like single-digit minutes every game at best. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So Chris Finch, I guess it's you. If it's a player, it's Rudy Gobert. I think he played like bleep. Played like crap, basically, generally speaking. And he's missing free throws like no tomorrow. Like, help, please help a little bit. At least he got 12 rebounds and 3 blocks. That's nice. But offensively, the guy's worthless most of the time. And when you're like borderline worthless offensively, I don't know. You're not real good. I'm glad you can block some shots and get some rebounds. It's better than nothing. But like, if you're gonna miss like more than half of your free throws, and you're just pretty much worthless offensively, I'm not a big fan. Sorry. There's got to be some kind of balance here a little bit. Like, tell me you can do something offensively. I don't want to hear that he's the superstar and oh my God, he's like the main reason why the Wolves are good or bad. It's like, okay, whatever. I don't know about that. So we'll move on from this group of games. And I passed out the awards and demerits, so we'll take a quick break and look at the upcoming stuff and run my mouth some more, I guess. Sorry. And we are back here on Timberwolves Explosion, segment number 2. Time to look at the upcoming games, which is really exciting, I suppose. This team is flashing on the screen right now. The Boston Celtics is a replay. They actually gave the Pistons their 3rd loss of the year. I'm pretty proud of that pick. I picked the Detroit Pistons to win the East. And at the time, it felt like I might have been going out on the limb a little bit, but it's like, well, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Knicks. Like, they can maybe get to the conference final. But kind of like the Wolves, do you ever see them actually winning the conference final, though? Without some kind of a major move that'll make it borderline obvious, like, oh yeah, that's the best team in the West or best team in the East, from whatever perspective you're coming from. Detroit, though, they look like they're ready to win the East. They really do, but they did lose to the Boston Celtics on Wednesday. So that was a interesting game. It was kind of a back and forth, and ultimately Boston executed a little better down the stretch than the Detroit Pistons. Just did not work out, basically, for the Pistons when it mattered most, and that's our next game. Timberwolves, anyway, when I say ours. NBC Sports, I guess. Though I'm sure we'll have other local angles when it comes to that. Yep, otherwise you have FanDuel Sports North, the upcoming Sunday game. Saturday, November the 29th at 4 p.m., kind of an early one there. Is it going to be on Peacock? It's on Target Center. Maybe it'll be on Peacock, which I did get the subscription to because it's an 11-year contract. I mean, you might as well if you want to watch. If you want to be able to watch, every Wolves game and a lot of other national stuff, you're probably going to have to get a Peacock subscription because it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, the damned if you do is you have, is paying for it. And the damned if you don't is you won't get to see the games. So it kind of is what it is. Back-to-back with the Celtics and Spurs, an NBA Finals series that never happened, that a lot of us kind of probably hoped would happen one of those days. Maybe it will in this day and age. Celtics are 10-8. Jason Tatum has tore his Achilles in was it the conference finals last year or second round? Second round, yeah. Yeah, because it was the Knicks and Pacers, like a rematch of way back in the good old days. At least 2000, I think, was the most recent conference final between the teams. Is way back in the day. The Knicks just, they just weren't that good down the stretch. They ended up losing it. And the Pacers went to the NBA Finals. Put up a decent effort against Vince Germano's Los Angeles Lakers, but it ultimately did not work out. Terrain, if you're listening as well, his Lakers, a lot of people's Lakers, I guess, but yeah. Again, huge shout out to Pumpa forever there. I don't like the Warriors, but that doesn't mean I don't like Pumpa. Man, what's up with going on upstairs? What, are they going to stomp me out again? Nah, I'm just kidding. It's just a 2-game series because it's the Eastern Conference. NBC again, another national broadcast in Boston on March 22nd. Happy sunlight there for sure. 7 p.m. there. Is that a Saturday game, or maybe it's during the week? Or is that for sure Peacock? Yeah, it's a Sunday. Oh, a Sunday at 7? Sunday game at 7 o'clock on NBC. Huh. Interesting. I suppose that's kind of that quote-unquote pennant race time of the year where teams are jockeying for playoff positioning, and boy, the Wolves are going to be jockeying with the way they're going. Oof, boy, get your heads out of your butts, guys. But I suppose they were really disappointing around this time of year as well, and couldn't even beat the Raptors, and it looked like we hated each other. That was fun, like Randall and Gobert. And I was like, get rid of both of them, hell with it. But preferably Gobert, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But, yes, the Wolves will play the Celtics on Saturday, tomorrow at 4 p.m. because it's still kind of technically a holiday weekend. I guess you could say Thanksgiving weekend. I don't like the word holiday that much, but that's me because I'm weird. Celtics, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is leading the club in scoring with 28.2. And, of course, again, his partner in crime out for the season with that Achilles tear, but way back in the NBA second round last year. Peyton Pritchard is second in the team in scoring with 16.6. Derek White, who shoots way too many three-pointers. He drives me nuts. Oh, God, he's annoying. 8.5 three attempts a game. Yeah, he's a good player, but he's annoying. 32%, so yeah, that's really annoying. Anthony Simons from the Portland Trail Blazers is fourth in the team in scoring, almost 14 a game. He's making 41% from downtown. The seventh leading scorer on the team is none other than Josh Minot. Remember him? Josh Minot, averaging about 19 minutes a game. Good for him, and he's playing in pretty much every game. Just under 8 points a game. Less than half a block, which is annoying a little bit, but 5 rebounds, that's pretty good. It's pretty good, kind of a small forward body, so he's not like this big, tall guy, who's going to, you're expecting to pull down a bunch of rebounds and block a bunch of shots. But he's providing something. 41.7% from downtown as well. 51.1% from the floor. Luka Garza. God dang it. Thought I turned this crap off. Luka Garza, about 15 minutes a game. Yep, 41.7, but he shoots about half the threes that Minot does. Just under 7 points a game and 4 rebounds. So Luka Garza and Josh Minot, guys who couldn't get off the Wolves bench for years, are getting off the Celtics bench. They're rotation players for the Boston Celtics. And I know you've probably heard this about 55 times already if you follow the Wolves very closely, especially if you're local. Ron Harper Jr., that's a familiar name, or at least Ron Harper is, with the Bulls, of course, going way back with the Cavs, and much later with the Lakers for another title quick. 3 games, 5 minutes average so far this year. Not sure what to go with that one. Not a big contributor in the NBA right now. But Minot and Garza are getting rotation minutes for the Boston Celtics. So good for them. Celtics are a decent team. This game isn't Target Center. If the Wolves want to get their heads out of somewhere, they better win this game. It's a winnable game. It's a very winnable game. The execution lately has been insanely frustrating. So not sure what to go with that one. Hoping the Wolves can get it done when it matters here and win the basketball game. I'm going to step out in faith and think the Wolves will win this basketball game over the Boston Celtics in Target Center. Celtics are 21st in field goal percentage, 18th in 3, 22nd in points, 16th in rebounding. So not spectacular numbers. What are the Wolves? Yeah, we're like 11th in points, 9th in field goal percentage, 6th in three-point percentage. The Wolves are. Interesting. That's kind of cool. 18th in rebounds, 18th in the turnover category, where the Celtics are number 1 in the league in turnovers, so that's extremely good. Number 1 in assist-to-turnover ratio, which makes sense. The Wolves are 21st. Block shots, the Wolves and Celtics are tied at 5.3, basically at 9th or 10th place in the league. So, yeah, interesting. Wolves will beat the Boston Celtics in a close back-and-forth battle. Final score along the likes of 110-105. It'll be a 5-point game, but the Wolves win, pulling away down the stretch and get the job done. San Antonio Spurs. Oh, boy. Yeah, remember them? Yeah. Popovich isn't there anymore, finally. I know, God bless him, but I think a lot of us were getting a little tired of Popovich a little bit. Okay, well, the Spurs, by the way, should I get to it? They're 12-5. The Spurs are 12-5. That's right. Ouch. They're 12-5. Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, I know. Wemby. God, that girl's so damn hyper upstairs. 12 games, 26.2 a game, 13 rebounds, almost 4 blocks, 3.5 plus. Three-point percentage is about 34.5, and his attempts are down to 4.8. So that's probably one of the reasons why the Spurs are doing better, because when it was at like 13 attempts a game, what the f are you doing, guys? You got to bring that down. It's okay to shoot threes if you're the big guy and everything, especially if you make them. But I don't know. Under 35 isn't exactly like torching anyone, and you're attempting 13 a game. That's not good basketball at all. In fact, it's garbage. Cut that crap out. So that was kind of my approach there. De'Aaron Fox is still there. He's only played in 9 games. 25 points a game, though. It's a stud. 6.3 assists. Stephen Castle. I wish the Wolves could have him. Give us one of those two, San Antonio. Come on. Let's figure out something here without ripping us off. Fox or Castle. Can you give us one of those two, please? I would really feel so much better right now. Because you got Conley, who's 38, feels like he's 90. Rob Dillingham, I don't know where to go. Whether you like him or not, they don't like him enough to play him. So it's frustrating. Doggone it. It is. It's frustrating. And, there's Luka Garza, number 52 on the Celts. Reminds you of Greg Kite. No, I don't know. Greg Kite, way back in the day with the 80 Celtics. Or one of those guys, I don't know. Greg Kite. Raise your hand if you remember Greg Kite. Anyone? You way in the back? Yeah, you remember Greg Kite? And he played for the Magic later on. back when I got more caught up with basketball in the 90s. But anyhow, let's keep going. Castle, yeah, 17.3, 5.8 assists. No, 5.8 rebounds and almost 8 assists. I love Stephen Castle. Wish the Wolves can have him. He sucks at three-point shots, but I don't live and die by the three if I'm a Wolves fan or any fan. 24%, that's okay. You don't have to shoot that many. 50% from the floor, though. See? He's good. He's kind of like Dwayne Wade a little bit. A little bit. Careful now. I better be careful with my comparisons. But yeah, that's kind of just on paper alone. It's like that's kind of Wade-like. I love Tevin Vassell. He's kind of a D3 guy. Again, I'm not a huge three-point psycho, even though I am totally fine with shooting threes. Just not like 50% down the floor. I think that's kind of dumb. That's all. I just think it's dumb, especially when you're 7'5" or whatever, and you could dominate the league. But funny, the Spurs are better now because he kind of cut it down a little bit. Funny, Wolves versus Spurs on a back-to-back. Wolves do not beat the Spurs. But let's look at the back and forth here really, really quick. Spurs are 11th in point. Nope, that was the Wolves. Spurs are 15th in points, 5th in field goal percentage, three-point percentage. They're 15th. 7th in rebounds, 22nd in turnovers. They turn the ball over a lot, worse than the Wolves. Block shots, they're 11th. They're pretty much just under the Wolves. What the heck? 5.2 because Rudy Gobert, man. Assist to turnover ratio, they're tied with the Wolves. All right, so whatever. I don't think the Wolves are going to beat the Spurs. I wish they could. I wish the Wolves could sweep this little back and forth here in Target Center on 29th and 30th to wrap up the month of November. But I think the Spurs beat the Wolves in a back and forth battle like they're always. Maybe the Wolves just go down the toe tubes here. I have no idea. But the Spurs win 113. In my little quote-unquote crystal ball, the Spurs win 113 to 102, 11-point victory for the Spurs. Yeah, it's a weird number, but whatever. The Wolves are weird too. Wolves will be playing the New Orleans Pelicans twice, both in New Orleans. Put the lemon in the tomato juice, folks. Wolves are going south. Yes, they are. Unfortunately, that's the end of the series right there, or that's the end of going into New Orleans the whole year. Let me look at the Wolves series real quick. I apologize for this backtracking, which is annoying, I'm sure. Come on. Back. It's a 3-game series. Sunday, this Sunday coming up, the 30th. And then November 11th. No, January 11th. I'm crazy, sorry. That would also be in Target Center, and then the Wolves go to San Antonio on January 17th. So I'm guessing the Spurs win that series 2-1 or something like that, but we'll see. Hopefully the Wolves sweep them. Be great. Hopefully the Wolves don't get swept. A team that the Wolves absolutely should sweep, and if they don't, they're just finning around. That's all. They're just bleeping around. 3-16, the New Orleans Pelicans forgot to put the lemon in the tomato juice, or they left out the celery salt, which I think is crucial. That's essential as far as I'm concerned. Well, part of me, not all of me, was born to have been in this. I mean, should have been born in the South, but I wasn't. Tuesday and Thursday, both at 7 p.m. in Nolens. That's right. Upcoming series, February 6th, right after my mom's birthday. In Target Center. And then April 12th, a lot more sunlight there. You can tell I like spring. You can tell, right? 7:30 in Target Center on April the 12th. As the young lady upstairs is running relay races again. It's wonderful to listen to. I just love it. It's fun. Jordan Poole, Mr. Warriors killer, injured reserve with a knee. Wolves, again, and it says no injuries. We're going to knock on wood there. Apparently, TJ Shannon has been struggling with injury, but still kind of been out there. Carlo Matovich, injured reserve calf. Herbert Jones, injured reserves. I didn't even look at the other teams either. I feel stupid here. Obviously, Jason Tatum, he's out until, hell freezes over. Poor guy. Man, wouldn't it be nice if people knew how to walk quietly? It'd be a lot less annoying. Spurs, yeah, Victor Wembanyama has a calf injury as well, so he might not even play. Castle, hip injury. So the Wolves could win this one. Jordan McLaughlin has a hamstring. Jordan, the same guy. I really don't know what's going on upstairs. It's weird. I'm hearing sounds that I don't need to hear, but that's weird. Okay, we'll move on from that. Celtics. Looking at the injuries there, yep, Jason Tatum with the Achilles. Niemitz Quetta, ankle, and Norvell Pili, personal. It's personal stuff. It's personal, damn it. Who knows? Maybe the Wolves beat the Spurs because of the injuries, but I don't know. With Castle and Wemby out, there's a possibility the Wolves beat the Spurs. Maybe we don't beat the Celtics. Who knows? It's hard to say. I'm just going to stick to my guns for now because who knows? Maybe they'll both magically come back. What's interesting is the big boy playing there in New Orleans? I mean, that's usually why the Pelicans suck, is because the big boy isn't playing. Yeah, Zion, yeah, he's always missing time. I guess he's playing now. 9 games so far, 21.8. His numbers aren't even that great, really. Though he does have almost 2 steals a game, which is crazy. 5.4 rebounds. You think it'd be higher? I don't know. Whatever, that'd be Zion Williamson, of course. All kinds of injuries up and down the lineup. DeAndre Jordan, he's still alive. Wow, two games so far. Man, that's just weird. DeAndre Jordan, yep, he was all over the league. You know, he was on the Clippers forever and so on and so forth. He's been just about everywhere. Trey Murphy is officially the leading scorer because of what's his name missing half of the games. That'd be Zion. 19.7 for Trey Murphy. The leading rebounder is Derek Queen at 6.3. Sadiq Bey, yeah, that's a name that's out there. 5.6. I don't understand. It's a weird team. I don't think they know what they're doing, really. Leading assist man is Zion with 4. Otherwise, Jordan Poole had 3.4. And Derek Queen leads the team in assists and rebounds, 3.6 officially for active players. What the flip? So Wolves should win comfortably both games. And if they don't, they're screwing around. 25th in field goal percentage, 23rd in three-point percentage, 27th in points, 24th in rebounding are the Pelicans. Assist to turnover ratio, they're 25th. And overall turnovers, they're only 5th. But, wow, they're like the weakest team basically in assists and such. I haven't already talked about the upcoming games. I think the Wolves win both of these. And again, if they don't, they're screwing around. They need to win both of these games. It doesn't matter what the score is. Just beat them by double digits in both of these games, like 123 to 107, something like that. And then, I don't know, 117 to 100, something like that. Just go out there and get it done. And if they don't, it's bullcrap. So the Wolves have a chance to, look okay and go 3-1 this week. And they need to. When they are successful, and they will be. Just kidding. They have a real chance of this new Wolves order. An order in which the credible Minnesota Timberwolves can use its domination role to win the NBA title. Okay, I'm just kidding. I wish they could. I won't tell you where I got my idea for the words I was using there. I just won't. But yes, believing that the Wolves can at least go 3-1 this week, and that would feel wonderful. With that, we'll take a quick break and see if there's some fan interaction coming up. And we are back here on Timberwolves Explosion segment number 3, fan interaction, if we can call it that. No, I'm kidding. I'm just teasing. Yes, it's good to hear from people, but I don't think we're hearing a whole lot in this episode. It's kind of my fault. I don't really interact enough, and I say this every time I do a show, it seems like. So, tells you something. Maybe I should interact more. So, I apologize. My apologies. If that makes any sense, the way I'm talking. Let's get to the Twitter account at TWolvesEX, at TWolvesEX, to look at maybe the one or two comments we got here. I want to thank Vince Romano for retweeting the most recent show. Really appreciate it. He said he really enjoyed it, so great to hear. Thank you so much. Levi Brown also retweeted it, so thank you very much, Levi, coming in out of New Zealand there. Tanae does jump in. I do believe this does count from in between the last show. He says that Jaden, so Tanae Brown out of New Zealand, Jaden, quote-unquote, Kawhi Daniels, the leap seems to be coming. I've always thought Kawhi was his ceiling. Let's see if he can keep his offense going. And yes, I hope so. because when Jaden McDaniels, pardon me, is playing up to his standards, he's a hell of a player, and really great to have him. Jaden McDaniels is averaging 16 points a game, about 5 rebounds, and gosh, he's shooting 46.6% from downtown, 86% at the free throw line, a block, a little more than a steal a game. Even his turnovers are reasonable at 2 a game. Personal fouls about 3.5. That's better than fouling out. But 53% from the floor, way better than earlier in his career. Hopefully, Jaden Kawhi Daniels ends up being Jaden Kawhi Daniels long term, as we've been saying. So really appreciate what McDaniels has been doing, not the quarterback of the Washington Commanders. But we'll see how this turns out. He's becoming more and more and more of a household name, and really appreciate what he's doing. Sounded very professional in a conversation with, was it Peacock? Or no, it was the ESPN game on Wednesday night for the Thunder. That was a lot of fun to see him there. As they made sure to talk to him after the half, I do believe, and that was fun. Or was that after the third quarter? Great to see conversation with Jaden McDaniels and the national broadcast. So again, becoming more and more of a household name. So I think you're really hitting the nail on the head there today, for sure. I think there's only one more. Yep, it's Hopeless Wolves fan. He says, this team will not win a championship. That shouldn't even be on the table. I'll be amazed if they make it to the first round of the playoffs, because they are definitely play inbound. Yep, and it's been a frustrating season. It looked like the Wolves had something, and I was like, depressing, but it sure looks that way. So that's kind of where the Wolves are at least in terms of their wins and losses. And that's where the frustration, for sure, has been taking over, generally speaking. So that's kind of where we're at right now with the Timberwolves. Hope you don't mind the shortness of this episode. Again, kind of getting caught up with things and getting back in the swing of things. Hope it was a decent episode. Generally speaking, always bringing that passion, even if it's with a weaker voice because of like sore ribs, basically. Sore ribs, sore chest, that kind of stuff. So again, thank you so much for your interaction with the show. Thank you so much for listening. Please tell your friends about the show. Share it with your friends via X-Post or whatever, or text or word of mouth, whatever it is. Those of you that have been doing that, I can't thank you enough. Anyone else willing to do that, please, and thank you. I deeply appreciate it. So with that said, hopefully the Timberwolves can continue to step up, at least go 3-1 in this upcoming group here. Take care of business versus New Orleans in general. Beat them both times. And at least win one of Boston and San Antonio. Obviously, winning both would be spectacular, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, win 3 out of 4, and you're doing something right. Generally speaking, finish 500 here, and I don't know, and you're not really getting anywhere better. You're going to wind up with like a 12-10 record, which is not exciting at all. So hopefully the Wolves can get the job done and get this team going in a better direction here sooner rather than later. With that said, again, hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving. I did enjoy mine. I hope you did as well, if you did celebrate it, depending on where you are in the world. A lot of countries have different forms of Thanksgiving, and it's different times of the year. So, yeah, so it depends on where you're at, that type of thing. With that said, thank you so much for listening. Please do give a 5-star rating for the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other app that you might be using where they allow you to do so. It would be greatly appreciated. And again, share it with your friends and family. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you, and we'll be back in a week.